I'm completely aware that an entire video dedicated to a river is pretty over the top, but it's really not. Let me explain. So, hey guys, welcome to another video, and in this one we're going to be talking exclusively about the River Nile. Now, I have some information about the Nile here, and it's a very fucking big river. It's the biggest river in the world, the longest river in the world. It is 6,670 kilometers in length, which is 4,160 miles. Now, the game won't cover and won't even cover 1% of that, because it's going to be exclusively in Egypt, and if that is what an empire is going to be like. And not only part of the Nile goes through Egypt, and it won't be that much of it that we'll see, but 22% of the Nile's course runs through Egypt. In Egypt, the River Nile creates a fertile green valley across the desert. It was by the banks of the river that one of the oldest civilizations in the world began. The ancient Egyptians lived and farmed along the Nile, using the soil to produce food for themselves and their animals. So there will be lush vegetation around the Nile if it's going to be in Assassin's Creed Empire, which is almost mandatory for Assassin's Creed if it's going to go to ancient Egypt. So the length is approximately 6,670 to 6,695 kilometers, though it's not really verified how long it is. There are two tributaries, whatever the fuck that means. The source is in Burundi, Central Africa. That's not really relevant, and it's on the continent of Africa, as we know, and it goes through Uganda, Ethiopia, Sudan, Burundi, and Egypt. And it goes from Egypt to the Mediterranean Sea, where the mouth is. So I think that just from that, it's a long river, and it's going to give us loads of vegetation and wildlife as well, which will give us some very interesting stuff to see. Also, I want to mention that there are some points where the Nile is actually quite wide, some points maybe even being about a mile wide. So from side to side, it's about a mile sometimes at its widest, and that is interesting, to be fair. Like, you can say what you will, that's pretty interesting. Why is it interesting, you ask? Because that basically means that it's going to be its own world space of sorts, and it's going to provide a very different gameplay experience that will last in the area. So you'll be using maybe small boats to get across. There'll be alligators, crocodiles, or whatever. I think it's crocodiles. Yeah, crocodiles, alligators, what the fuck, it's crocodiles. So there'll be Nile crocodiles around, and you'll have to sort of dodge them a little bit, and fight them and hunt them, and it will provide a very interesting gaming experience in that sector, because for the crocodiles, man, they eat your shit. We've seen what they're like, or what anything of the sort is like in Assassin's Creed 4, and they're brutal. So, and they have really powerful jaws as well, so they could provide a very big challenge for the player. So I think that it's going to use the Nile, because without it, there's really no, there's without the Nile, it's not really Egypt. Well, the Nile is a major part of Egypt as a whole, and ancient Egypt. There are loads of drawings, including the Nile. So, as you can imagine, not just of ancient drawings, just drawings in general, and images and stuff. So, the Nile itself is a major part of ancient Egypt and Egypt itself. So, the Nile's going to be necessary it's going to need to be there, and the fact that it can be a mile long in places and is in Egypt and goes through and provides lush vegetation for wildlife and people to farm. There'll be towns in there as well. That's really interesting. That's some cool stuff, if you ask me, and I really think that that's pretty cool stuff. So the River Nile is about, like I said, about a mile in length, in width at some places, and it's about over 4,000 miles long. So just imagine how big the world space will be just for that Nile alone, because it's like a mile wide in some places. Like, I suppose where Cairo is, it's quite wide, and other places it looks pretty wide in the images. So I just want to say that I think that they'll provide for a very interesting and different gameplay experience to the land gameplay, which is going to add to the overall value of the game, both with players, and it's going to make it more worth the money that we're going to spend for the game, because it just, feels like it's going to add more to it, and it's going to add so much to it that I feel as if they've got to put it in if they're going to go to Egypt, which is what the Assassin's Creed Empire rumour suggests. So guys, that's all I have to say. please do comment down below what you think. As always, be sure to go ahead and subscribe. We hit 3,666 subscribers. Lol. Don't know, that's subject to change though, isn't it? But thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead and like, subscribe, share, comment, tell your friends about the channel, and remember to always stay fishy. And what the fuck, that was an awful outro. And I'll see you all in the next one with another video. So thank you all so much for watching. So yeah.